A lot of weird stuff happens at E3, so we thought we'd give you a crash course in one weird thing that happened every year in the history of E3. Let's start out with the year 1995.
We're going
that
back.
Was a long time ago, and it was the summer that A Kiss from a Rose came out from the Batman Forever soundtrack, so for some reason, they had R&B singer Seal perform. Next up...
Next, we got 1996. Things keep getting weirder. Sony announced that the PlayStation would drop to $199, and by the end of the same day, Nintendo 64 dropped to $199 as well. And Sega came out the next day and said, hey, our system's going to $199 as well. We had 3 price drops in 24 hours. It's insane.
Yeah, that's pretty weird. And then everyone got fun games, and no one ever argued about it again. The end. 1997, what happened there? Oh, this was a fun one. A nice lady dressed up like a sexy nurse carried around invitations to a new studio called Pandemic's booth, and those invitations had condoms in them.
What?
Which is a weird way to promote something called Pandemic.
This is totally real, by the way.
Yep.
1998, Sony picked up game journalists from the airport in stretch Hummers, and inside the Hummers were copies of Gran Turismo playable on in-Hummer televisions. So it apparently was not about ethics in games journalism back then, or in limousines.
Nope. And then 1999... We're getting to the real modern age of gaming. Both David Bowie performed music and Goldberg performed wrestling.
Yeah, they did a duet together that everyone recorded and threw away.
And then the good old Y2K.
That's right, the year 2000.
That was around the Dreamcast becoming a real big thing. And so Sega had some go-go dancers for Space Channel 5, and the Seaman was there.
They announced a game called Seaman.
Yep. Yep.
About a talking fish that you could talk to. That's
my
real.
Least favorite Google image results from this entire segment.
Yep.
2001. What happened then?
Sony threw a huge party the night before Microsoft unveiled the Xbox, meaning that lots of the people in the room were furiously hungover.
Yeah. Also, you can't see too well, but the Xbox was announced by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Bill Gates.
Is that true?
Yep. Also, 2002, what happened there?
The U.S. Army was at E3 to announce their new Army recruitment tool.
Were they there? I can't even see them at all. They're invisible to me.
They announced a tool called America's Army, and mainstream media wasn't really happy about gamers being hired to war.
I think this one's my favorite. 2003. You guys remember the Nokia N-Gage, the cell phone that you could play really low-res Game Boy Color games on? Well, they announced the price point of that by having a woman come out on stage and take her shirt off, and the price point of $299 was written on her chest.
That is just horrible.
I don't know why she has a skateboard.
So now let's do anything to get that picture gone. In 2004, that's even worse.
Oh,
Nintendo unveiled a large, stern man named Reggie Fils-Aimé who said he was all about kicking ass and taking names, and then they unveiled a dual-screen touch-enabled handheld with a built-in microphone, which is totally normal now, but back then, that was crazy town.
Yeah. 2005, this was a fun one. Oh, yeah, the power went out. Then the power was out in the West Hall, and that kind of comes in the way of the Electronic Entertainment Expo. 2006, what's up?
The hottest duet of all time is Miyamoto and Steven Spielberg.
Move over, Goldberg and David Bowie.
Playing tennis together.
Okay.
Sure, that makes sense.
Sure, why not? 2007, everybody decided video games were over, so they moved E3 to Santa Monica, and 10,000 people attended as opposed to the usual 60,000. So that's all 10,000 of them right there.
So no lines. What's up, Ghost Town?
2008.
Yeah, professional snowboarder Shaun White showed everybody what it's like to snowboard on a piece of plastic called the Wii Balance Board that didn't really work.
Finally, a video game peripheral that will tell you you're fat. 2009, what next?
This is all you, baby.
Oh, yeah. James Cameron's Avatar. James Cameron came out and talked about Avatar for 15 whole minutes without showing anything. And Brian thinks this is why he hates Avatar. I wasn't at that E3, so I still like Avatar.
Also, the other reason I don't like that movie is the movie Avatar.
Okay, fair enough. 2010.
Connectimals from the makers of Halo.
Okay.
Comes a game where you touch a bear in a yard.
Yeah, wave your hands at the screen, and the
Skittles.
animals will be there. Okay. 2011, this is my first E3. One thing I could never forget, THQ, known for their big blowout E3 things, they have huge booths. They had so much going on that year. They had a thing going on outside the convention center. They had a free car wash made possible by Saints Row ladies and lots of money. So they're washing the car because Saints Row. 2012, fast forward, where was THQ? They did not even have a booth. But they still had booth babes who were just standing by this Darksiders 2 poster. I'm not joking. They were handing out flyers to be like, we're holding interviews behind closed doors.
Behind a closed poster.
We still have, I don't know.
Welcome to Dollar General.
Yeah.
In 2013, Peggle 2.
Yes. People
that guy, he jumped so high, he's stuck up there.
I love this because people will do like the worst moments of E3 2015, and they'll still throw this clip in. 2014, what do we got?
Ubisoft's push-up contest.
Okay, moving
Exercise.
on. Let's get it over with. Stop it. 2015, last year. Oh, God, no. Remember that? When Aisha Tyler went in the audience and said, let's make a meme.
Where she interviewed this Madame Tussauds Wax Museum
Let's
man.
make a meme right now. And that guy, if you just search meme man, he comes up. I feel really bad for
Steampunk
him.
Undertaker.
And then that brings us to this year, 2016.
Oh,
Well, I mean, E3
that was last night.
Yeah, E3 hasn't started yet, but we went.
Yeah, all the money
Yeah.
went into this set.
Yeah, pretty much.
What's up now?
All right.
Up at Noon 2016
Yeah.
remix.
All right. It's only worse from here. Okay.